Hey there, welcome back to Tish Experience. So, I did a video last week. As you can see, I'm inside. It's kind of windy outside. It's actually pretty sunny because the sun is what the light is in here, but it's really windy. So, that was my biggest issue today. Otherwise, I would have filmed outside where I prefer to film. However, we're going to keep it moving. I'm gonna start off with Flabby Arms Challenge update. I will put a picture here in this area with the before and after for week 3. So I'm not really seeing too many differences, to be honest. I'm trying to get this camera proper. I'm not really seeing any big differences. I'll just show it there. They're still pretty flabby. I feel like I'm they feel sore after the next day after doing the exercises. I have increased the amount of exercises. I think I started with about 4 to 6 minutes and probably up to about 8 minutes now. I'm good with doing it. I don't really see much of an improvement as far as the look of them, but I did kind of come to the conclusion that instead of worrying too much about improving the flabbiness, what I tend to want to do with my body in general is I want it to be able to do what I want it to do. So I'm going to just kind of focus on usage, after this challenge is done, I'm going to get through it. I said for the month of February, so I'm almost done. I got one more week. I'm going to get through that. And then I think I'm going to focus more on doing push-ups or pull-ups. So, what do you call that? Body weight, being able to hold my own body weight. I think that would be a better use of my arms abilities, instead of just trying to do aesthetics. I needed to be able to do something too. So pull-ups, push-ups, that might be my next challenge. Maybe like a squats, pull-ups, push-up thing for March. We will see. We're going to finish up this Flabby Arms Challenge. Not really seeing a difference in the arms, but I'm not disappointed. I think it's motivated me to just try to do something else. So we'll see. Next, you saw last week, I did a little video. It was really short. It was a tough week, and it was just easier to make sure that I committed to doing it, that I was going to do it, and that I put at least something out to show my progress. I did do a weigh-in there. I think it said I lost 3 pounds. I'm having an issue believing my scale, mostly because it gives me a different weight. It gives me a different weight sometimes. If I go on it, it tells me one weight, go off and go on it right after. It'll tell me a different weight. And sometimes the weights can be anywhere between a pound to like 3 or 4 pounds different. And that concerns me about my accuracy. So I am considering buying another scale. What I will say is with that, it is also why I do the pants thing, because if the pants fit, at least that means I've lost inches, and that is important as well, other than just weight. So I might need to procure another scale because I'm not too sure about this one. It be lying, and I don't know if I can trust it. So that is, I wanted to take a moment now, after I've given you my update, to do Tish tips. And today I picked consistency, and I have 4 tips on building consistency. So let me start off, let me preface this conversation by saying I call my channel the Recovering Procrastinator, and also Tish Experience. So I have 2 names there apparently. And I call it that because I am a recovering procrastinator. So for me to talk about consistency is, I don't know everything, and I have definitely struggled with it in my life, being consistent with things. I would always have all of the excuses in the world to not do something that I said that I would do. And I dislike that about myself. I still struggle with it a bit now. I've gotten much better about it, but I have some tips that have worked for me to help me to be more of a finisher and more consistent with what I do in my life with my child and just in my life in general. And I wanted to share those tips with you. Tip number 1. I guess I'll have it like here. Boom. Tip number 1 that I have is set a goal. Set a goal. These tips are not specifically for just weight loss. They're kind of for life. Just trying to organize and be more consistent in life, because that doesn't just revolve around health. It can revolve around a lot of things, accomplishing things that you want to accomplish, but setting a goal. So there are 2 types of goals, right? There's probably more than 2 types, but we're going to talk about 2 types of goals. We have long-term goals and short-term goals. I say with long-term goals, they're a year to about 5-10 years. We don't really need to focus on long-term goals right now. So we're going to talk about short-term goals. Short-term goals are more, they can be something that you can accomplish in a week to about 6 months. Set a goal that you want to accomplish in the short term, so at least for the next 6 months. It helps to put things in perspective if you set it in your mind. So set it, mean it, and believe that that's what you want to do. So that is tip number 1, set a goal. Tip number 2. Tip number 2, after you've set a goal, write it down, write your intention down, and read it every day. Writing it down helps you to visualize it a bit better, and putting pen to paper. I think writing it down more than like typing it, write it down. And if you can, write it down every day. but definitely read it every day and read it out loud. Envision yourself already accomplishing this. Envision yourself in the future that this has already happened. It helps to motivate you to want to do it, to believe you can do it. That's why you read it every day, because you can set your goal and you can accomplish it. So write it down, read it every single day, read it every single day out loud. When you first do it, for however long you do it for, be it a week, be it a month, be it a year, it can seem really silly to be reading something out loud to yourself, but it makes an impact on how you feel about it. So push through it seeming like a stupid thing to do or it's not necessary. It's necessary. Write it down, read it every day. Read it out loud every day to yourself. That is tip number 2. Tip number 3. Tip number 3 is stay positive through everything. In the beginning, as if you've ever set a goal before, or if you've ever said you are going to do something, when you set a goal, when you're trying to accomplish something, it's like the whole world finds that time to be against whatever goal you set. You know, I'm going to walk more, and all of a sudden it's raining the entire week. 2 weeks before that, you had nothing but sun, but it's raining the entire week. Oh, I'm going to start getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning. You have the biggest headache in the world. There will always be something. There will always be a curveball that comes your way. And when you've set your mind to do something, that is when it absolutely happens. So when you set a goal, it's about setting your mind as well and saying that, outside of death, we're going to do what we said we're going to do. We're going to accomplish this to the best of our ability and not have an excuse as to why we didn't. Because we were tired, because we were sick, because the children need us, because this and that. There will always be some excuse. There will always be some reason. So you have to stay positive through it and do it anyway. It's not always going to be fun, but push through and stay positive. It's easy to stay positive in the good stuff, but you got to stay positive in the bad stuff too. Okay, this has happened, but I still said I'm going to do this. So let's go. That is tip number 3. Tip number 4. My last tip would be habit stacking or triggers. So I watched this gentleman by the name of Jim Quick, and he talks about developing your brain. And he talked about, in one of his podcasts, he talked about triggers, setting triggers to form new habits. So some people also refer to it as habit stacking, which is really, you have a habit already that you do, and you want to make a new habit. You take the 2 habits and you put them together. One thing that I did for habit stacking, so that you have an example, would be when I brush my teeth. When I brush my teeth, I do squats. I've connected brushing my teeth with squats. So when you habit stack, if there's something that you're already doing and you connect something that you also want to do to it, it makes it a bit easier to do. So that's tip number 4, habit stacking. If you've made it this far, thank you so much. If you've made it this far in this video for Tish Tips, I appreciate you watching and thank you so much. And I have one more tip. This tip I did not include in the main four, mostly because it's the four that I mentioned are things that you can do all on your own, getting your own mind ready, getting your own heart into it. And I think that those four are really important to be able to do that, because your mindset is going to matter the most. This fifth tip is finding an accountability partner. So once you set your goal and you've written it down and you're reading it out loud, another thing that helps is having someone, just one person, a group of people, whatever you have. If you're letting them know that you have set a goal and they are holding you accountable. Now, some people don't want to be reminded all the time when they have set a goal, and some people are okay with that. So you can decide what kind of an accountability partner you would want and what kind of an accountability partner you would be. But if you tell someone about your goal, you've set it, you've given yourself a time frame for it, and this person that you've told is just going to support you, not push you more than you need to be pushed, but just a slight little nudge every now and then, or somebody that you check in with to report on how you're doing with the goal that you set. Having an accountability partner helps you to stay accountable, and it helps you to stay motivated. Pick someone that you respect and pick someone that you wouldn't want to let down. That is the fifth tip. So those are my 4 Tish tips on consistency. I will put something here and say them again. Tip number 1 is set a goal. Tip number 2 is write it down and read it out loud every single day. Tip number 3 is stay positive. Things will happen. You got to keep in a positive mind frame. Set a goal, set your mind. And number 4 is habit stacking or triggering. So you already have a habit, connect another habit to it. It makes it easier for you to develop that habit as well, that good habit as well. And tip number 5, if you can, find an accountability partner. Accountability partners are amazing things that can help if you've found the right ones. If you have any of your own tips on being consistent, or if this video was helpful, which I really hope it was, let me know. Comment down below, please. And I will probably do more tips eventually, because I do like giving advice and I do like to talk about some things that have worked for me and haven't worked for me. These 5 particular tips have worked for me. Please leave your comments. Let me know how you feel about it. Let me know if you have any tips on being consistent. As I said, I'm no professional. Obviously, I've had many years of not being consistent and being more lazy about the things that I try to accomplish. So I don't know everything. I don't know all of the tips. So if you have any, please leave them down below. Share them with everyone. Share them with the community. And let's have a conversation. And that would be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching it to the end. If you have, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Love to grow this community a bit more, and I'd love to hear how you're doing on your journey. And that's it. So, as a recovering procrastinator, my motto is now. it's a good time. See you next time.